Hello everyone and welcome to Leatherneck Insider. I am Trevor Davis.
And I'm Joe Music. WIU women's basketball just released their schedule for the upcoming 2021-2022 season. The Leathernecks will start off with an exhibition game against Columbia College October 26th at Western Hall. Head coach J.D. Gravina previews what he expects for this upcoming season.
Universities, we do have a couple non-Division I games that usually is hopefully a chance to play some kids and get some kids some experience. We host the Compass Challenge this year, which is Northern Illinois, Southern Illinois, Eastern Illinois, and us. And so that'll be a neat experience for our fans to get to see those directional schools all play. We've got a couple good home games with Bellarmine coming in and Chicago State before we get started with conference.
The Leathernecks will look to somebody new with the absence of Grace Gilmore. Coach Gravina is optimistic his squad will produce a winning season.
Quite a few that can really contribute. I think Evan Zars and Danny Nichols are kind of two of our returning players that have won a lot of accolades. Evan can really rebound and is scoring a little more aggressively inside. Danny's kind of a do-everything player. Elizabeth Lutz really came along about halfway through the season last year, and so far this season she's been one of our best players, and it's nice to have that point guard that can really go. Carla Flores has been playing really well. She was one of the best passers that I've probably ever coached. And then we have a lot of kids that can shoot it. Sam Pryor, Anna Dietz, Mallory McDermott, and then a couple kids I think that Leatherneck fans aren't real familiar with that are going to contribute. Alyssa Dins has made a lot of strides as more of a back-to-the-basket post player that we haven't had in a while. Kennedy Flanagan has really improved. She's kind of just one of those kids that does everything really well, really solid kid. And then, like I mentioned, a couple newcomers that will probably contribute. So we're going to have a pretty deep team this year.
Some notable non-conference games for WIU are Notre Dame, Butler, and Chicago State, just to name a few. Transitioning over to the Diamond, the Western Illinois baseball and softball teams have been in full swing this fall. The baseball team played one game, beating Lakeland College 20-7. The Bats really got going, helping the Leathernecks cruise to an easy victory. The softball team, on the other hand, made their schedule a little bit harder, playing a total of 7 games and have looked impressive throughout them. The Leathernecks have gone 5-0 through their first 5 games, which includes a win over Big Ten foe Illinois. The softball team has also been an offensive force, outscoring their opponents 29-7. They will wrap up their fall season in the next 2 weeks with games against Marshalltown Community College and Kirkwood Community College.
From baseballs to fuzzy yellow balls, WIU tennis head coach Sean Hayden has had a couple of unusual seasons since he started here at Western in 2019. I had the opportunity to discuss the fall season and coaching throughout the pandemic with Coach Hayden.
Women's tennis head coach Sean Hayden started back in August of 2019. Halfway through Hayden's first spring season as head coach, the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic prevented us all from attending anything in person. Hayden coaches 7 student athletes, and of them, 5 are international students. Here's what Coach Hayden had to say about coaching on and throughout the pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic was rough. Once it hit, everybody kind of got separated and everybody was all over the world, and it's trying to check in during Zoom, and meetings were great. But that's the one good thing. Like, I always really utilized Zoom in the past and FaceTime and all that stuff during my recruiting, so it was just a continuation with how I really got to know a lot of these players. We continue to get to know with them, and in the summer when things first started, in 2020, just to be able to continue contact with them over the internet, it was good. It wasn't nice to have them not here, but it was good enough that we were able to continue contact, continue working with them, and kind of continue the process and developing them as student athletes.
This year's team is young, with no seniors and just 1 junior on the roster.
You got to develop and grow. Coming from juniors to the college level, and especially to the Division I level, it's tough, it's challenging. You're going to have to take your lumps before you can be successful. So it's been that growing period, kind of getting people adjusted to the type of play, the style of play at this level, and what it's like in college, and just getting them to develop and grow and keep getting better every single day. And that's my job as the coach, and that's what we're working with them. You know, day one, you're not the product you're going to be your senior year. So it's about getting them through the low patches to get to the high patches at the end.
The team just concluded their fall season after only 2 invitationals. Coach Sean Hayden and the rest of the tennis squad are looking forward to their upcoming spring season. With Leatherneck Insider, I'm Joe Music.
As one season finishes up, another is just beginning. The Leatherneck women's soccer team has been on quite the roll lately and looks to carry that momentum into Summit League play. After winning just 2 games last year, the Western Illinois women's soccer team has already won 6 games and currently sits on a 7-game unbeaten streak. Associate head coach Jose Primo attributes this early success to a new attitude and key contributions from new faces.
Have a good group of freshmen who are all eager to learn. They all work really hard, and some of them have been able to put in some key minutes for us so far. But otherwise, the big difference is that we were able to come back this year more competitive with, that drive to want to achieve our goals together. I think the girls got a good taste of it last year, and I think we were competitive. But, in the 80th and 85th minute late in the game, when we're tired and our legs are heavy, it just wasn't there for us. And I think this year the girls came back with more determination to do better.
The Leathernecks will look to use that newfound determination as they open up league play. They will also have plenty of extra motivation after being picked to finish last in the Summit League, according to preseason polls.
It really lights a fire under their butts every year being told that we're going to finish last. And I think every year our goal is just to be more competitive. So I know Coach and I, we don't necessarily bring that up all the time. We don't talk about that. We just want to see progress every year. And I think we're at the point now where we're finally seeing the results, at the end of the game in the score rather than just the way we played.
WIU will begin Summit League play the same way they ended last season, by facing off against South Dakota State. Coach Primo sees this as an opportunity to evaluate the growth of her team.
I think we ended the season in a really positive way. Yeah, the score doesn't necessarily reflect that for both games, but we ended the season on a high in the way that we were playing, and our team chemistry and our culture ended in a really good place, and we wanted to make sure that we started the season in that way. So this game can really be a test to that, to see if we really are better than we were last spring.
Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Trevor Davis. The Leathernecks and Jackrabbits will face off Friday in Brookings, South Dakota. Moving on to another team looking to capitalize off recent success, the Leatherneck football team took on Youngstown State and broke a 23-year-old record in the process. Reporter Kylie Rogers has more.
Football traveled 620 miles east to Youngstown, Ohio to kick off conference play against Youngstown State, a team the Leathernecks beat over the spring. The first half was all Youngstown. Going into halftime, Youngstown had a 35-14 lead, but the Leathernecks rallied back and secured the 28-point comeback win off a last-second Mason Laramie field goal. That win is now the best comeback in Missouri Valley Football Conference history and school history. With this comeback, the Leathernecks were able to beat their own school record, which was set in 1998 with a 23-point comeback win. This win over Youngstown State will be one nobody will forget. Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Kylie Rogers.
When we come back, we have more Western football highlights and Macomb High sports, only on Leatherneck Insider.
Your vision.
My goal is to work at a top 100 television station as a reporter, anchor, and a producer.
Our mission.
Thanks to Western, I have a resume that would beat out most students from the top journalism schools in the country.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. We now pass the attention back over to Kylie Rogers, who has more record-setting football highlights for us.
Thanks, Joe and Trevor. The senior safety, Darius Joyner, earned himself Missouri Valley Conference Football Player of the Week and FCS Stats performed National Defensive Player of the Week for his performance against Youngstown State, where he recorded 23 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 1 pass breakup. Coach Elliott weighs in on what it is like to have a guy like him on the team.
Darius is doing a good job. He really is. You know, Darius is a very active player. He's a physical player. He's smart. He's tough. He has a great understanding of our scheme, and he studies throughout the week to get a really good understanding of our opponent, and it puts him in positions to make plays. And you know, most of the time when Darius is in position, he makes the play. You know, that's one thing that's a trademark of a good defensive player. And Darius is good in space. He's good in the box, and he gives you a skill set that you can move him around to be efficient and effective in different ways.
Western Illinois' football record moves to 1-3 and 1-0 in conference play. The Leathernecks will continue conference play against another tough opponent in the Salukis of Southern Illinois on Saturday.
It'll be a big homecoming game for the Leathernecks. Moving from college to high school sports, the Macomb High girls golf team looks to build on a successful regular season as they move into regionals. Here's Johnny Jezorowski with more.
The Macomb High girls golf team finished off their season strong while taking first and shooting a team low of 169 at Farmington and taking second in the Streaks Invitational. Sophomore Taryn Ritchie shot a career low of 43 at Farmington and is really happy with the team's performance this season.
I feel like this year's team really showed everyone how good we can be without the great players that we've had the years before.
Bombers head coach Brian Sullivan wants the team to stay confident and focus on their own game going into regionals.
My goal for the team is their attitude and their confidence. You know, we can't play defense on what the other schools shoot, but that's just as dependent on other teams as it is our score. So, I mean, right now, my focus is just getting them to play with confidence and with a positive attitude.
The Bombers look to begin their postseason as regionals start this Thursday at Fire Lake Golf Course. From Leatherneck Insider, I'm Johnny Jezorowski.
Thanks, Johnny. The Bombers begin regionals tomorrow at Fire Lake. Coming up next on Leatherneck Insider, we check in on a few notable WIU alumni.
Taking me home, taking me home.
Here, I engineer the future.
Taking me home, bring me back.
Here, I have countless opportunities.
Taking me home, bring me back.
Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
Thanks for tuning back in with Leatherneck Insider. Most athletes' dream is to make it to the highest level possible. For some, that's varsity. For others, it's the collegiate level. And for a few, it's the professional level. We send it over to William Thomas to check in on our 4 Leatherneck alumni who have made it to the professional level.
Hey everyone, I am Will Thomas, and welcome to Where Are They Now? Today we're going to look at 4 Leathernecks who have shaped their sport and left a legacy here at Western Illinois. We start with traveling north to Canada and hitting the Harwood, where the 2019 Western graduate Brandon Gilbeck is claiming more awards on the defensive side of the ball. The 2-time Summit League Defensive Player of the Year took that trend into the professional ranks. Gilbeck won the Canadian Elite Basketball League Defensive Player of the Year. Gilbeck averaged 14.7 points, 7.7 rebounds, and a league-high 2.8 blocks for the Fraser Valley Bandits. After this past season, Gilbeck is taking his talents over to the Plus League in Taiwan. As we stay in Canada, we head over to the Winnipeg to see where the Leatherneck legend Sean McGuire has settled down. McGuire graduated in 2019 and led the Leathernecks to the FCS playoffs in 2015 and 2017, as well as set records in passing yards, touchdowns, completions in his time in Macomb. In the CFL, McGuire has not skipped a step, winning the Grey Cup in his first season with the team. He is currently in his second season with the team and currently has 6 rushing touchdowns on the year. McGuire has shown this season that he is a quarterback sneak specialist. As we head back down to the United States, we jump from the gridiron to the soccer pitch, where 2020 graduate Tim Trilk is making a name for himself in the USL. Trilk, who helped guide the Leathernecks men's soccer team to a regular season conference championship in 2019, is holding his own in the professional soccer ranks. Trilk currently sits 13th overall in saves as well as 4th in clean sheets with 4. Trilk has been spending his time with the Chattanooga Red Wolves Soccer Club and was awarded to the Team of the Week this past summer. For the last Leatherneck, we talk about one of the most dominant athletes to walk onto Hanson Field. Colin Saunders of the Kansas City Chiefs is the only player ever from Western Illinois to be invited to the Senior Bowl. Saunders did not miss that opportunity to shine, having a sack and showing everything that he has to offer. Well, everything that he had to offer was enough, getting drafted in the 3rd round of the NFL draft to the Chiefs. In Saunders' first season, he would help lead the Chiefs to go on and win the Super Bowl, defeating the San Francisco 49ers 31-20. It is crazy to see what a small school like Western Illinois can do. Trevor and Joe, back to you at the desk.
That's all the time we have today. Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram, and be sure to like us on Facebook. Leatherneck Insider will be back next week. Until then, I'm Trevor Davis.
And I'm the man with the mustache, Joe Music.